Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's Friday, May 31st, 2019. It's time for episode number 30 of the News Freaks. I'm Eddie the Ed Man.
And I'm Terry. Man, good energy today, Ed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're feeling good.
Yeah.
That's good. We've got a great show for everyone today. I'm excited.
Good to hear.
Back again on a Friday afternoon, so the weekend is right upon us. We've been dealing with that Florida heat. We're in the middle of a Jacksonville heat wave.
It is a heat wave for the ages.
One of the hottest months on record since this fair city was incorporated. It's
wild.
It's unreal. But anyways, welcome back to all our listeners. Hope everyone's had a good week. Hope everybody has some nice plans for the weekend wherever they may be.
I want to say hello to the new listeners out there. I've been looking at the stats, Tara, man. We got some new people.
This is exciting. I don't know how it's happening. The ball is rolling.
We are blowing up.
But we appreciate it. And Ed, also some exciting news on that front as well. We are just days away, it seems, from being added on two more new outlets, I should say.
Oh, yeah? Which ones?
I believe Google Play, you'll be able to...
We're on it now.
We're already on it.
Yeah.
See, Ed, man?
Yeah.
I knew. And also iTunes, finally.
Finally, iTunes. We're waiting for iTunes to
we
give us the
literally
okay.
had to do 4 interviews, 3 callbacks, and give a DNA
blood
sample.
test.
Yeah, exactly. They contacted you for that as well, right? But anyways, we finally got in, so we're hoping by the end of the weekend or early next week we will be iTunes available.
Yes,
and then you can start writing some nice reviews for us, which will boost us up the rankings even more.
Only nice ones.
Man,
it's all we allow.
We did want to mention also to our listeners, and we know we have a loyal fan base that have been with us, and we do appreciate you guys. Please, if you could do us that small favor and just tell your friends or family, just casually drop us into conversation every once in a while.
Tell them about the News Freaks.
Yeah, tell them, you know what, give these guys a listen. They'll kill a little time for you.
Here's how you start the conversation. You go up to somebody that you know and you say, "Hey, I've never told you this, but I'm freaky." And then just go from there.
Yeah, well, I don't know, Ed, man. Read the crowd, I guess I would say, for that piece of advice.
But they'll either ask more questions or they'll just walk away and not talk to you.
And then just say, thenewsfreaks.com. Follow them quickly. Just blurt that out any way you can. But anyways.
It's thenewsfreaks.com.
Otherwise, they get a dead link, and we still have no listeners.
And you look bad.
Man, unreal. But anyways, we are excited to be back, and we've got a great show today. I'm really excited about this show.
Yeah.
It's number 30, a nice round number, which means we're staying true to ourselves. We're not giving up, and we're starting to see the fruits of our labor.
We're not selling out.
Gonna have a quick little intro here today because I actually did go with a big story for us. Really quick, we'll just go because I have been updating it every week. Jeopardy James, we're not going to spend too much time on him. He did cruise to his 31st straight victory last night on the show Jeopardy.
He's won as many times as we've done shows.
I know, it's crazy. And he did it in a lot shorter time span, it seems.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
He won $58,612 last night, bringing his 31-day total to $2,402,538, leaving him only $118,162 behind Ken Jennings.
It's really the money that's making me jealous, not the number.
Not the streak, right. Well, people believe, if he wins tonight and Monday, he's probably going to wrap it up because he's been averaging about $77,000 a show. So that should put him over the top. But he still has 40-something episodes to beat the streak, which is amazing. Seems like this guy's been on since we started the News Freak.
Yeah, I'm starting to root against him.
Well, one guy who is not rooting against him, Ken Jennings, he finally chimed in.
Oh, yeah?
And he's actually rooting for the guy. It was something that he did actually kind of think that somebody would make a run, but he didn't think that somebody
not
would,
in his lifetime.
He didn't think that somebody would be cashing at the rate that Mr. Holzhauer is. He's pretty impressed by that. And Holzhauer's making the podcast podcast parade. He's making the junket, as they say in the
get
biz.
in on that.
That'd be great if I could get James. But, Edman, fear not. In this episode, we actually are going to have a News Freaks first.
Yes, guys, we actually had an interview.
We did our first interview, which we recorded earlier on, and we are going to play it at the end of a segment during the show.
And I'd like you to know that we did not misrepresent ourselves. They actually just gave us a straight interview. We didn't have to pretend to be somebody else.
It was unreal.
We didn't pretend we had more numbers than we have. It was great.
I do have to make a weekly payment plan, so it's okay on that regard, but that's all right.
They said we don't even have to pay them.
I know. That was nice, wasn't
really
it?
Nice of
that was nice. Well, anyways, listen for that later in the episode, fans. Also wanted to mention real quick, Ed, I don't know if you see this, America's Got Talent premiered last week.
No, I did not see that.
A video went viral, as it usually does, of a young man named Cody Lee.
Cody Lee.
Yeah, he's a blind, autistic singer piano player, and he was making the rounds.
Got it all. Huh?
People were moved and overcome with emotion watching this young man do his thing, and it's gone viral, the video. He actually sang the Donny Hathaway classic song For You, and really killed it. He got the golden buzzer from new panel judge there, Gabrielle Union. She gave him the seal of approval. I guess that kicks him all the way down through to like the finals or something.
Yeah.
I don't watch the show, but I mean, and I haven't actually watched the video either. It's like 8 minutes long, and you know my attention span for these things, so I'll just take the word of the people out there that it was a moving and heart wrenching kind of thing.
The guy,
in a good spirit.
What are his ailments?
Well, from what I know, he's autistic and he's also blind because he was carrying around a walking stick up there. But he was able to play piano and he was able to sing and he got the golden buzzer.
How bad could it be?
I think it's good. I don't know. I'll watch it one of these days. Also, remember way back in episode 7, Edman, this is a long time ago for us, we did a story on that card magician who won the main event at like the World Magic thing.
That sent me on a kick of looking at magicians.
Eric Chen was his name. He did that ribbon routine.
Right. That was great.
It was great. Well, he's actually on America's Got Talent. He did that for his audition as well to rave reviews. He did that exact routine. The only problem with this is a magician won last year. Oh. So really, I think he's...
Can't have two magicians in a row. Too much talent.
His fate is sealed, I think.
For the show.
But he's amazing. If you haven't checked him out, definitely look up that YouTube clip. It's called Ribbon, Eric Chien, Chien. We covered that in episode 7. Well, I had an exciting night otherwise, Ed, getting ready for the show, prepping. You do anything last night?
No, I don't think so.
I just went home.
Nothing of note other than pouring over the News Freak stats.
Oh, I know. You love it. He's
love
like
it,
he's like that scene in A Beautiful Mind where Russell Crowe's character just has calculations and formulas floating above him. That's what I see Edman doing out there.
I just practice putting the graphs in different shapes.
Well, anyways, I cracked open a few cold ones last night, Edman, put on my thinking cap, and I watched the 92nd edition of the Scripps National Spelling Bee.
How was that?
Oh, man, it was 3.5 hours of mental fortitude and amazing drama. It was actually the 94th year they've done it, but only the 92nd edition. They took 2 years off during World War II. A little bit of trivia on that. But here's a spoiler alert for those of you who might have DVR'd this event, wanting to watch it with the family and the kids. Okay, we saw history last night at the Scripps National Spelling Bee.
Yeah.
Because not 1, not 2, not 3, not even 4 people won. There was an 8-way tie for champion last night.
That sounds like a work to me. That doesn't sound real.
They call themselves the Octochamps now. Octochamps. They're the Elite 8 of spelling. Now, I'd like to tell you all and the listeners the names of all the champions, but to be honest, I could only pronounce like one of them.
Much less spell them.
Much less. I could not spell them, that's for sure. Amazingly, 3 of the co-winners, though, did come from Dallas, Texas. Yeah. So Dallas, who knew Dallas was a hotbed of spelling? I didn't know. But anyways,
their game at Dallas.
The night started with 16 spellers, and the 8 left standing. They obviously ended the competition after 20 rounds. They're each going to receive a coveted Scripps Cup and a $50,000 cash prize courtesy of Scripps. Now, 2014, 2015, 2016 all ended with co-champs, but the tension this year was boosted up a notch at the end of round 17.
Why?
When bee pronouncer Jacques Bailey told them, quote, "Champion spellers, we are now in uncharted territory." We do have plenty of words remaining on our list, but we will soon run out of words that will possibly challenge you. The most phenomenal collection of super spellers in the history of this competition. Well, his words proved to be right because after 3 more rounds, no one missed a word or even looked like they were struggling.
That's amazing.
The bee called it. Now, here's my thing. There was a total of 129 words that they gave the contestants. 8 kids missed, so 121 words out of 129 words were spelled correctly. But the dictionary's a pretty large book. I say they should have made those kids stay till like 6 a.m. till we fought our way to like a Hunger Games style.
You know, everything's watered down nowadays. Back in the old days, that spelling bee would have lasted for days and days. The only reason they stopped was because of war.
You saw all 8 kids there with their hands on the cup there, and I felt cheated. I'd invested 3. I wanted them to have, now last year, I guess, or the year before, they actually, for tiebreaker, they had them fill out a test beforehand in case of a tiebreaker, and whoever did better on that written exam was going to be crowned the winner.
That's smart.
But they thought it was too laborious, too tedious. They did away with it this year.
Well, that was a mistake.
Imagine if they'd done it this year.
Oh, my God.
The 8 amazingly smart and talented kids there would have been some close results, I'm sure.
Can't believe they ran out of words. They should have just had the kids
try
to spell each other's last names.
They would have gotten down. They would have whittled that field quite in a hurry. Well, anyways, Ed, this week I did actually do a big story for us, and it's going to have to do with quite the act of philanthropy.
This is my class, 2019. And my family is making a grant to eliminate their student loans.
All right, Edman, that was Robert F. Smith at a college commencement speech that he gave Sunday, May 19th. I meant to mention this last show, and we just had so much to talk about last week. I figured I'd mention it this week because this was quite the thing he did. He gave the commencement speech at Morehouse College. It's a historically black men's college there in Atlanta, Georgia.
Only historically.
Yeah. Founded in 1867. Guess whose alma mater that is?
Who?
Martin Luther King Jr. went there. Yeah. Well, anyways, Robert F. Smith, he's a multi-billionaire. I believe he's still, if not, he was the first, but I think he still is the richest black man in America.
Huh.
He's like the male Oprah. And he founded Vista Equity Partners, so I guess that's doing pretty well for itself. Before he started that speech that you heard at the beginning of the segment there, he said, "We're going to put a little fuel in your bus." And then proceeded to tell the 396 young men that he was taking care of all of their student loan debt.
Oh my God, that's insane.
Yeah,
no wonder they were cheering.
Yeah, well, it's funny. If you listen to the clip there, it seemed like they didn't quite grasp what he was saying at the beginning.
Yeah.
It was kind of like they were trying to take in the words, and you heard it start to build to a crescendo when they finally realized that they're going to be debt free in the college.
Well, I mean, if they grasped the enormity of money, they wouldn't have gotten the debt in the first place, probably.
well, listen, you're not going to believe this. When I was writing this, I thought they were still working out the details, but apparently the administrators there at Morehouse have figured out what the 396 students will owe. The recent classes that graduated in the past couple of years had about $10 million in debt.
Right.
This class, for some odd reason, it was about $40 million for the 396 kids.
Yeah, well, I think I can figure out what the reason was.
Right.
Because it was being instantly taken care of.
Now, Edman, is that something or what?
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, if there's one thing, kids, that you should learn is that somebody else will always step in and help you with your problems. Personal responsibility is not really important anymore. Good lessons there.
War in 2020, if you ask me. Anyways, this is one of her things that she's running on, one of her platforms. Anyways, Ernest Holmes, he's about to embark on a career as a software engineer for Google. Not a bad gig out of college, right? He was one of the more manageable loans that graduated this year, he owed about 10 grand. So he was only 10 grand out of this 40 million. But anyways, he was overcome with emotion, as were the rest of his class. Now, Mr. Smith, he had kept his plan secret from his family, Morehouse administrators, the employees, and students, and he actually only sprouted the idea days before he was to give this speech.
He didn't want anyone to talk him out of it, huh?
I guess not. But I mean, I guess the reason I brought this story up, number one, it's a great thing for somebody in that position to be able to do for kids. I think so, anyways.
It is.
But number two, I think that is one of our real issues. If to go and try to better yourself in your life, education wise, that it would have to put you in this big of a hole, you're behind the starting block right off the bat.
Well, I mean, not to get political here, but if you keep guaranteeing the loans, the loan amount is going to keep going up.
I get it.
Just think about that one for a little bit.
I get it, Ed, man. I just don't think why should it be so hard to try to get a leg up if you put in the time and you put in the work? Shouldn't it be a manageable amount that you have to pay? I mean, most of these kids aren't going to make six figures in a year. I mean, maybe some will, but from my understanding, it's a liberal arts college. So I don't think some of these kids aren't going to go on to make, millions of dollars a year.
Right.
So I don't know where they're getting this price tag from.
Yeah, I don't.
And so, I mean, it is something to consider. I remember, like, community college and state school, that was only, a couple $100 and you were out.
Maybe we ought to open a liberal arts college and make some dough.
Oh, that'd be great. Podcasting college.
We just have to remember to invite, what's this guy's name?
Oh, Robert F. Smith.
We just have to remember to invite Robert S. Smith
Robert,
each year.
you busy for a commencement speech? We actually hold ours a different, entirely different season than everybody else, so you should be free. But anyways, kudos to Robert F. Smith, and congratulations to all those young men at Morehouse College. Definitely going to be starting off on a positive foot in life. All right, Ed, man, off we go to news thing number one.
News thing number one.
And Ed, this is a very exciting news thing for us this week.
It was exciting.
Yeah, what happened here is we are actually at the end of the segment here going to play you an interview with somebody associated with the story.
We are really feeling ourselves today, aren't we? I mean, not only are we on more places where you can listen to us, not only do we have more listeners, but we scored our first interview.
Yeah, we were pretty proud. We're going to pat ourselves on the back a little bit, and we enjoyed it, and it was quite insightful, and we hope the listeners enjoy it as well. So we are going to go to the Queen City for this next story. That's better known as Charlotte, North Carolina. Ed, man.
Why do they call it the Queen City?
Well, I believe
she doesn't own us.
I believe there was a queen at some point named Charlotte.
I guess that would explain it.
They must have named the city after her.
They must have, and it must have been hers.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I'm taking from it anyways. This story all started a few weeks ago when the Unknown Brewing Company had its beer van stolen out there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, upon coming in that morning, this happened around May 13th, I believe. Upon coming in that morning and discovering the delivery van was gone, Unknown Brewing Company took to social media with pics of the black and neon green lettered van, and their owner put up a message, and this was what he wrote. Well, we guess people take live without boundaries serious. That's their company slogan, by the way, live without boundaries. That was the first line of his social media post.
Opens up with a joke.
I
That's
thought that was funny.
Do.
He continued, 3 fine individuals stole one of our vans early this morning.
3 fine individuals.
Please help us find it. Share with all of your friends. Whoever finds it, Brad will buy you a keg party. If you stole it and bring it back, you will also get a keg party. And then in parentheses, smile for the camera. And then please DM us if you see it. So they went to the police, reported the van stolen, and after taking to social media, the van was quickly located and recovered. And we'll save that for the interview to see how quickly we actually were able to find that.
I wonder if it was a friend of a friend or if the person just stumbled upon it.
Well, it was an Instagram user. Her name's Caroline Klimowski. She goes by @Caroline_Faith, and that's 4 E's. If you want to look her up on Insta.
Spell that, geniuses.
Yeah, Caroline Faith. 4 E's, just like you'd spell Caroline. She was the first of about 15 people to spot this distinctive van in the city.
15?
Yeah. Police believe, actually, this van, the beer delivery van, was used in the commission of more than 10 additional vehicle break-ins around the area before they finally abandoned it. So anyways, Unknown Brewery followed up their initial post, thanked the community, answered questions as to whether this possibly could have been a marketing stunt on their part as well.
Right, we talked about
some
that.
Some people assumed that. Unknown ended its post with some good news for the beer fans of Charlotte. Made me kind of sad. I didn't live in the city. They wanted to thank all of them for helping us get our van back by commenting, sharing, and sending us tips via direct message. And then they had another exciting message that we will save for the interview as well.
Yes.
Okay. So the owner, obviously, he was very, very thankful. In addition, Carolyn Klimowski being the first to notify them, she will also be getting a big keg party, a free keg party on Unknown
for her.
Brewery. So I'm going to break out the toga, Edman. I'm going to head myself, book a flight up to Charlotte and see if I can't get a personal invite. This story was just, it shows the power of community when it means getting back a beer delivery van that's going to bring us beverages.
Yes.
Because otherwise, I think if someone just put on Facebook or Instagram, oh, somebody stole my van, just a regular Joe Nobody, I don't know if the reaction would be as swift.
I don't know either, but I'll tell you, if I had seen that van, I would have reported it and not even done the beer party.
What would you ask?
I say keep the party. Give it to the second person who saw it.
Oh wow, they would have loved
Give
it.
it to Terry.
Would
He
you
can have the
Would you have
cake
wanted
party.
an invite? Maybe just go and have something off the grill.
I
or
like
something?
it. Yeah, I probably would have done that.
You guys got potato salad? I love it. It looks great. So this story was very fun. Very, I love the power of community and people getting together, helping this company out, which I guess has been a staple there for quite a few years. So what I thought would be fun, I reached out on social media to Unknown Brewing Company, and they got back to me fairly quickly.
Yes, they did.
And I just threw it out there. Would somebody from your company like to come on and share a little bit more about what happened? And just our luck, we were able to find somebody. So right now, News Freaks, in a News Freaks First, we are actually going to play a short little interview. I think, what is it? Maybe
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Yeah. It's an interview with a spokesperson from Unknown Brewing Company.
Who are we talking to today, Terry?
Actually, Edman, we have on the phone Emily. She's the marketing manager over there at Unknown Brewing Company.
She is. Well, if it's unknown, how did she find out about it?
She's been there a while, I assume. Emily, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
We're doing great.
Emily,
So-
how long have you been at the Unknown Brewing Company for?
I actually haven't been here that long. I started about a month ago, so this was it's been a fun little ride while
Oh,
I
we'll
was
see
here,
how
obviously.
things turn out.
Nice.
Do they give you free
Yeah.
brewery stuff?
I mean, I get beer, so it's pretty nice.
I mean,
That's
that's
a
a
nice
good-
perk.
yeah.
You know what? I'm thinking of leaving this gig and flying up to Charlotte. Now, Emily, if I understand this right, Unknown Brewery opened up in 2011. Is that right?
Yeah.
2011, right? And your owner and head brewer there is Brad Shell, correct?
Yes, it is.
And Brad was the one, Edman, that I mentioned in the story earlier, who was putting out the social media posts after the van got swiped in the dead of night. When was it, Emily? It was a few Mondays ago, right? What was the 15th or something?
It was the 13th of May.
13th of May. Yeah, it was a Monday morning around 1 in the morning, and your CCTV cameras caught three hooligans stealing the Unknown brew van there, the black and neon green brewery van.
Now, Terry, just real quick, just promise me that you weren't one of the three who stole the van.
I'm trying to get inside info. I hightailed it back to Florida.
Because we know how you are with the spirits.
No. It wasn't me. But anyways, Emily, continue just for the listeners. Tell us what happened after that point, after you guys got in that Monday morning.
Yeah, so we got in Monday morning, realized that our van, in fact, was not there, and nobody at the company had the van. So at that point, we called back one of our delivery drivers to come back with his van that is basically identical because we were going to be calling the cops and sending out a post, and we didn't want him to get flagged.
Of course.
As like being the suspect of said van.
Right.
So we put up a post on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Got so many retweets, so many shares, so many people concerned about our van, which we greatly appreciated, that it was actually located in 42 minutes.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Wow, and what a nice
Yes.
publicity thing that's happening. Terry, go out there and steal my car real quick.
Well, actually, is this true, Emily? Didn't the company get a lot of people online wondering if it was a marketing scheme by you guys that you had stolen your own van to try to build up business?
Yeah, we got asked that, but
And again, I
obviously
believe
wasn't true. We got the cops involved and all that
Right.
stuff. I mean, brilliant idea, but we just
Yeah.
it was done for us.
They'd be taking a
essentially.
big risk,
yeah,
I guess.
absolutely.
Now,
yeah, 100%.
now, were you there when this happened, Emily? Were you there in the morning that they discovered the van was missing?
Yeah, I was actually the one who was manning all the social media
What?
stuff. So I mean, we got a flood of stuff in. People just a flood of support,
But-
and we got one girl, the girl that actually found it, Caroline, posted a picture and called our office. And
Sweet
our office
Caroline.
manager was the one who was in contact
Yeah,
with her.
I saw she. That was one of the questions I was going to have for you. Did she cash in her keg party yet?
Yeah, she did. We threw her a keg party for her and her friends last weekend, actually. We brought
Sweet.
over a couple kegs
Very nice.
to their apartment, and they had a blast.
Very nice. I was thinking of hitting her up on Instagram and Twitter and seeing if I could get an invite, but I guess I'm too late on that one. Also,
bit.
Emily, I was curious, has there been any progress made on trying to identify the 3 suspects at all?
No, there hasn't. The video is quite blurry, but, I mean, they didn't do much damage to the van. They cut our wires to
Oh, wow.
venture off with it, essentially. But, I mean, it is what it is at this point.
Where-
I don't know that they'll catch him, but
Where was, just out of
got our
curiosity,
van back.
where was Jussie Smollett and his 2 buddies there? Do you think that's...
I don't
There's
think
any
that's
connection?
related. That's in Chicago.
Okay,
Ed, man.
that's it.
That's
Well-
in Chicago. Now we gotta get to the real reason I wanted to call Emily. I mean, the other stuff it's very riveting, and I was curious about it. But you there at Unknown Brewery said that you were going to brew a special batch called Van Theft Auto. I love the name.
yeah.
I love the name. I was wondering,
great.
a couple questions. What type of beer it was going to be, when it would be available, and how I could get my hands on some.
So what we're doing as a thank you to Charlotte for helping us find our van so quickly, and since we promised to give a free keg party to the person who found it, but we got so many tips in, so many people helping us find it, that we are brewing Van Theft Auto and selling it for 25 cents a pint,
That's
which is as cheap as we can
Oh,
technically
yeah.
give it away for free.
That's awesome, because you
to
got to
cover
pay taxes on it, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
that's
So
really great.
Yeah, it just got done. It is a dry hopped pale ale, and it will be released in our tap room on Wednesday, June 5th. And for one night only, it'll be 25 cents.
Wow. And is this something you're going to keep throughout the season? Is this something that, say, me, I know that you brew, your beers are available there in North Carolina, also South Carolina, and Atlanta, Georgia, from what I understand. Will some poor schlub like me here in Florida be able to order this somehow?
As of now, we don't have any plans to do anything other than doing it for our tap room, just as a thank you for Charlotte. But I mean, we can't ever say no to any good ideas.
But for those of us out there and our listeners as well, some of your beers are available for order through your website or through another site, correct?
Yeah, so we can't. So they're available through different stores and different vendors, and we're working on getting elsewhere. But right now, like you said, we're basically in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Atlanta, Georgia.
So I guess I got to take a road trip to Atlanta and get myself some Unknown Brewing. I saw some of I love the names on some of these beers. I'd listen to some of these brews that they have there. Raisin the Roof. It's like an oatmeal raisin.
Raisin,
kinda.
right.
Yeah.
Very clever.
The small batch Sunday, it's called Dad Jokes. I like that one. I think everybody gets a little funnier after they drink a pint or two of that. But yeah, Over the Edge and Scratch and Sniff, those 2 IPAs you have as a regular rotation at the tap room, sound delicious.
Point
Sorry.
to our most popular.
They're two of your most popular. I can imagine. You guys would probably have to kick me out at the end of the night. Say, Tara, you gotta leave.
They'd have to do that anyway. Now, you were there for 2 weeks when this happened, right? Or did you think this was just like how they function normally? Are you like, this is just an everyday occurrence? What have I gotten myself into?
No, I knew it wasn't a common thing. It happened, unfortunately, to a brewery here in Charlotte as well a couple years ago.
Oh, wow.
They also ended up getting their van back as well, but it's definitely not a regular day at Here at Unknown.
Yeah, that's
If they thought about putting GPS units in the vans.
Honestly, they haven't put me on that, but it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Well, anyways, Emily, I was on the website and I was looking for people there in Charlotte or people visiting the city. In fact, my brother lives. Him and his family live about 10 minutes outside of Charlotte, so next time I'm in the city, I'm definitely going to visit. But for those people who haven't checked you out yet, just give them a little info as to how they can find you, how they can contact you, and where you're actually located there in the city.
Yeah, so we are located in the part of Charlotte called South End. So we are actually only a few blocks away from the Carolina Panthers Stadium of South Mint Street.
That is nice during football season, I can imagine.
Yeah, we have a great view of the skyline and a great view of the Panther Stadium, so that's always good. And we have been a part of the South End area for a while now. We've got some great breweries here, and we're just happy to be a part of it.
That's awesome. And your website is unknownbrewery.com, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And
and then you can look us up on social media. It's the Unknown Brewing Company. On Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Unknown Brewing Company, though, that would be the website as well, unknownbrewing.com?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
unknownbrewingcompany.com.
Very cool. And one last thing, Ed, maybe we'll take a field trip up to Charlotte one day. I see on their events page they have a lot of what are called no-pants bike rides.
That sounds worth it.
Yeah, that is actually this Saturday. We do it for... we do it. We partner with our bike team. We partner with the 24 Foundation, and we do it for 24 Hours of Booty and the Bike MS.
That's really
so
cool.
So we do that every year.
That's really cool.
And we ride throughout Charlotte.
And you know what? If I was a betting man, I would bet that those 3 suspects show up. They return to the scene of the crime without their pants. They always
do. That's what they say. Without their pants.
I mean, that's what it says. Although people are encouraged to wear some type of underwear or long johns for this ride, I imagine.
Well, if we go up there, I'll have to remember to get an alarm system for my car. Do they still sell the club?
I think they still got the club out there. Anyways, our real thanks to Emily for taking the time out of her day to join us here.
Thank you so much.
At the News Freaks. And Emily, if I ever make it out there, I'm going to stop in the brewery and I'm going to ask for you, and you and I can have a pint together.
Sounds good. It'll be a beer on me.
Oh, I love it. All right, Emily, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That was fun, huh?
It was fun, and she was so kind to take time out of her day. Again, we want to thank Emily over there at Unknown Brewing Company for taking the time to do that with us.
And I want to clarify the website is unknownbrewing.com. There's no company in
BREWING.com.
Yes.
Correct. Unknownbrewing.com, and then all the other social media outlets that Emily had mentioned for us in the segment there in the interview.
Yeah.
That was great. I hope in the future we're able to get more of those. Because
and I hope you listeners appreciate what we do for you on the show. Terry was on the phone for 3-4 minutes trying to get an interview?
Man, I really had to turn on the charm, Ed, man. I can't believe I got past the 2 layers of security there. I had to answer a lot of questions about hops, barley, grains. Luckily, I knew all of the answers that they threw out at me.
Yeah, and they allowed us to talk to them. Luckily, they can hear us but not see us.
Oh, man.
Otherwise, I'm sure we would have been turned away immediately.
Well, wait till I show up at the brewery trying to cash in on my free pint. All right, Ed, man, off we go to game time.
Game time. What are we doing today?
Yeah, man, it is going to be again. I feel like this whole episode's got some new stuff that we want to try. So I'm going to go back to something we did months and months ago.
Really?
We're going to play a joint game time.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
going to be fun. I thought you were going to say we're going to do a game time that we did earlier. I was like, great, I'll finally have all the answers.
No, not so lucky. In fact, we might be doing this game time together, but we're actually going to be playing as opponents.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh
and
no.
And you know, I was inspired by watching 3.5 hours of young ladies and young men spell their way to the top last night. So I figured, wouldn't it be fun for me and the Edman to have our own little in-house spelling bee today?
Only if I win.
I mean, we're going to find out. Ed, did you know, Ed, a little piece of trivia about me? I used to host a Applebee's in New York once a week, a spelling bee for everybody in the Applebee's.
You used to host
A spelling bee.
a spelling bee.
Yeah, in addition to a trivia night, I hosted there as well, a different place though. But in the Applebee's, they would give me a small sum for my hour's work, as well as all the draft beer I could drink.
Oh, that's impressive.
I thought that was impressive.
They might have got you hooked on that.
Those
Huh?
chain restaurants, they just have more money than they know what to do with. So anyways, Edman, here's what I came up with for us today. We're going to go to a website, so I'll have you pull up the old internet there.
Okay.
We're going to go to myspellit.com.
Do we need a third party for this?
No, we don't.
all
We
right.
don't actually, because I saw this and I thought this would be perfect for us because we're both going to take turns picking random numbers, and that will be our word. And we'll have to try to spell it for the other. Now, on the bottom left-hand panel there, this is a Merriam-Webster site. It says frequently missed or need to know words on the bottom there, highlighted.
see that.
And on the left-hand column in this segment, it says 73 frequently misspelled words.
Yes.
Okay, I don't want you to take too much time looking at those right now.
I won't look at them at all.
Because what we're going to do, Edman, we're each going to take turns picking numbers from 1 to 73, and the other person will read off the word that you have randomly chosen.
Okay.
Okay? And we are going to each try to spell these words. Now, in the interest of time, we're only going to have like 20 seconds to spell our word, so we can't really dwell on it too hard, okay?
Yes.
Once we get the word, we just got to go with a gut instinct, all right? So, would you like to start, or would I like to start?
Doesn't matter to me. I'll go first.
Okay, so I'm going to need to see the board because you're going to pick any random number from 1 to 73.
Let's go with 72.
All right.
I hope this isn't in any order.
Edman, your first word is weird.
W-E-I-R-D.
All right, Edman, you are 1 for 1.
The
Very good.
rule, of course, is E before I.
Yeah. Well, I'm for E, except okay. My
It's
first
a terrible
one,
rule.
I'll
It's
go.
not good at
I'll
all.
go up the other way. My favorite number's 3, so I'll start off on a nice note.
You
with
have
3.
again.
Again. A-G-A-I-N. Okay.
Are we checking to see if it's correct or
Oh
not?
yeah, I hope. I hope you are. Yeah.
Yep, that is
Okay.
correct.
All right. Moving on to question number 2. Ed, give me a new number.
Let's go with 16.
Ed, your next word is commitment.
Oh, God. Everyone knows I can't spell commitment. C-O-M-M-I-T. T-M-E-N-T.
Did you want 1 T or 2 T's?
I'm going with 2 T's.
Incorrect, Edman. It was 1 T. 1 T. So you
Commit, of course, because it's commit,
Right.
and then meant.
Yeah,
There's
that's
no
all right. It was tricky. It was
T
tricky.
that comes up for no reason.
was
there.
tricky.
Oh, how embarrassing!
All right, Edman. So
Oh, that should be your word.
I am going to go with number 24.
24. You know, my motto is stay away from commitment, and look at me, I stepped right into it. Eligible is number 24.
Wow, eligible. By the way, lady listeners out there in News Freaks Land, I am an eligible bachelor.
I think he was saying eligible, not ineligible.
E-L-I-G-I-B-L-E. Eligible.
Yes.
All right. All right, Edman, next.
Let's try 25. Did I say 25 already?
25, and this is going to be, you're going to freak when
not
you hear
again.
this. It's embarrassed.
It is embarrassing.
You just tried
Oh
to
my
give me that
God.
word, and now you've got it.
The Lord is making me pay. E-M-B. Arassed.
Incorrect.
No, wait, let me do it again. I must have had it wrong in my head. That's not right.
You needed the extra R this time. There's 2
Oh
R's.
my God. I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah, he's embarrassed. Okay, folks, let's move on. I'm going to go with
This is terrible.
number 61.
61. Let's see what we got. Sincerely.
Sincerely. Sincerely.
Nice.
Okay. All right, Edman, you're up.
Let's go with number. Let's do. No, I better stay out. I might have subconsciously read it. Let's do number 3.
I already did 3.
You did 3. Okay. Let's do. How many are there? 72, you said?
Yep.
Let's do number 69.
Nice. Villain.
Oh, Villian.
You know what? I think I would have got that wrong as well. It's AIN.
What? That's not what I said. What did I say?
IAN. VILLAIN.
Oh, it's AIN. Oh, well, then I did
yeah.
misspell it.
I think I might have got that one wrong too.
my
Actually,
goodness, wow.
You've been getting the crap heap here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with number 9, Edman.
Number 9. You have appearance.
Appearance. APPEARANCE.
Nice. That's it.
All right. Ed, you're up.
All right. Let's go with number. Let's do 55.
Said.
Said.
As in, I just said the word.
SAID.
Who's misspelling said?
I don't know. Somebody.
Okay, well, you got it. You're back on the winning.
good to
scheme
know.
here. All right, Edman, I will go with number 11.
Number 11 is. That would be balloon.
BALLOON.
That is correct.
All right, Edman, you're back.
All right. Let's try number. Have we done anything from the 30s? I'm going to go with number 32.
32, Edman, grammar.
GRAMMAR.
Correct. I'm sure a lot of people spell that ER at the end, I would
Kelsey
guess, right?
Grammer.
All right, next we are going to go with, how about I go with 59. 59.
59 is separate.
Separate. SEPERATE.
Yes.
All right. Edman?
Let's do number 22.
22, Edman, different.
DIFFERENT.
Correct. Different, correct. All right, Edman, let me do, how about 40?
40. All right, let's do, are we about wrapped up with this thing?
Almost.
40. League.
League, LEAGUE.
Nice.
Okay. Couple more left here, Edman.
Okay. Let's try number 39.
Laugh.
LAUGH.
Correct.
Oh my God.
All right, Edman.
Why am I feeling pressure, man?
Yeah, well-
you know what? When I was a kid,
Yeah.
I did a spelling contest in the class, and I spelled cherry, CHERRY. But I guess I talk funny, and they thought I said CHARRY.
No way.
Yeah,
But you
and-
knew
and
you
they-
spelled it right.
Yeah, I was so mad.
Yeah, that stinks. Well, I'll tell you what, Ed. If I get this one right, there is no way you can win.
Okay, that's fine.
So if you want to call it early,
No.
no. I mean, if I get this one right, you can't win, but you can do
No,
the last
I'm-
two.
I'm
You want to
good.
go with them?
I'm good.
Okay, so I will go with number 17.
17. 17 is concede.
I just asked if you wanted to concede. How is that possible? CONCEDE, concede.
That's correct. But I would like the listeners to know that even though I lost the game, I actually spell checked all of your words in my head.
Yeah.
So
So now, Edman, that
I
says
just
a lot.
want people to know that.
All right, let's go. You got
All right.
you're giving up? You've conceded?
Well, I don't like the words give up, but I think that's a nice end to
Okay.
everything.
All right. Yeah, I do too. It was pretty timely. So, folks, if you want to test yourselves, you can go to that Merriam-Webster site, myspellit.com, and it's the need to know tab right on the left-hand side. Frequently misspelled words. I get it. I do get it that some of those were misspelled. There's probably some toughies on there that we didn't get. Know what I thought of first for that segment, Ed?
What?
I'd actually thought of going to the past 92 champions and their final word that they had to spell to win it.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been impossible. I think we would have both got everyone wrong.
Really?
Yeah, I had to dumb it down for us. They were very tough. In fact, the 8 that won last night, the last word that all 8 had to spell, I don't know if I would have got one of them right.
What we ought to do is try to spell their names again.
I can't. I still can't. You could give me 10 minutes to look at them and study them, and I don't think I could get them right.
That's a shame. I guess we should both be very embarrassed.
Well, Ed, man, another successful game time, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, well, for you.
Man, I can't wait to get my Scripps cup in the mail.
I keep losing these things. This is embarrassing.
And also, maybe Scripps will give me a chunk of cash. I mean, I don't expect 50 grand, but maybe several $100, maybe.
You take your payments in liquor anyway.
Yo, Ed, man, not anymore, because Unknown Brewing Co. is going to give me a
got your back.
lifetime supply for that interview we just did. Anyways, Ed, man, moving on. News thing number 2. Yeah, our next story brings us across the pond to Wales.
Okay.
You feel like getting your passport out, Ed, man?
Wales, W-A-L-E-Z.
Oh man! Now he's in his own head, folks. Well, more specifically, we're going to the Hay Festival of Literature and Arts. It's held annually there for 10 days from late May to early June every year. Well, annually, that's what that would entail, I guess. Founded in 1988, and it was called the Woodstock of the Mind.
Okay.
By Bill Clinton in 2001.
He calls everything that.
Oh man, that reminds me of
'Cause
Woodstock.
to him it is.
That reminds me of Woodstock of the Mind.
Hey, you want to come with me to Woodstock of the mind?
I think that'd be great if we went, baby. Well, this past Saturday, my Clinton needs some work.
Not bad.
I need to get what was his name? The SNL guy that did what the hell was his name? Daryl Hammond did a great Clinton, didn't he? Anyways, this past Saturday, last week, human behavioral and happiness expert Paul Dolan. Maybe I need to get a hold of him. You could study my behavior and my lack of happiness.
Dolan, D-O-L-A-N.
Yeah, you're nailing it now, Ed.
D.
He gave a speech at the festival that has some people, specifically the fairer sex, buzzing. In his speech, the 51-year-old Dolan, who's professor of behavioral science at the London School of Economics and Political Science, that's a mouthful.
Oh, yeah.
Have you spelled any of those words? He was discussing his latest book, which is called Happy Ever After, Escaping the Myth of the Perfect Life. And he's basically come to this conclusion, Edman, that unmarried women with no kids are the healthiest and happiest of any population subgroup out there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow, right? Simplifying it even further, Dolan basically says if you're a man, you should probably get married, and if you're a woman, don't bother.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to go into this a little bit deeper without getting too science based here.
Okay.
Dolan says that while married people often claim to be happier overall than their single counterparts, this often only applies to when their spouse is actually sitting next to them in the room.
Yeah, that sounds
When
right.
the spouse leaves the room, Dolan says, and this is a quote from Dolan himself, they're fucking miserable.
Is this why I can't breathe? You know, anytime I'm in a relationship, I can't B-R-E-A-T-H-E.
Wow, Edman, you are on a roll. Where was this a little bit ago?
I don't know. Not in my head. Not where I needed it to be.
That's all right, Edman. There's always next week's game time. So anyway, Dolan's new book, it reflects on findings and data from the American Time Use Survey, which polled a wide array of different people, single, married, separated, divorced, widowed, all to compare their happiness levels. And while the findings seem to indicate that women might be better off living as spinsters, the opposite was actually true for men. We tend to get more of a benefit from marriage, including peace and stability at home, and tending to calm down after we tie the knot, Edman. It seems like, actually, this is a quote from Dolan. He said of men that we, quote, take less risks, earn more money at work, and live a little longer when we're married.
I don't like any of that stuff other than the live longer.
I know, yeah, that's a real perk for you. Now, she, on the other hand, has to put up with that and die sooner than if she was never married.
That's not
Makes us out to be kind of what the old ball and chain. We're actually the ball and chain in this scenario.
balls and chain.
The study found that middle-aged women who were married also saw an uptick in potential mental and physical ailments. And Dolan actually stands behind these results. He said, quote, "You see a single woman of 40 who has never had children and think, bless, that's a shame, isn't it? Maybe one day you'll meet the right guy and that'll change. No, maybe she'll meet the wrong guy who makes her less happy and healthy, and she'll die sooner."
Oh my goodness, that's not a good thought. Although the more ailments thing, I think that's just because they're trying to get my attention. I don't really believe it.
I think I'm sick. Take me to the ER. I'm rewatching Game of Thrones. I got a special edition coming up. Well, Dolan did concede that many women view having a partner and children as being a sign of personal success, and it could lead to some women feeling unhappy, or even they could even feel as failures to some extent if they can't manage to find those.
Now, what's Mr. Dolan's situation
Status,
in life?
Right?
Here? Yeah,
I mean, he's 51. I didn't really go into his personal thing. I think he might be a single guy, actually, and he's not even heeding his own advice. Well, I did check the book out on Amazon. It's got 36 customer reviews. It's 4 out of 5 stars.
It's very convenient if he starts dating someone he doesn't really want to stay with. He's like, honey, you got to read this book.
Listen, I'm doing you a favor. It's really not me. It's you.
All the studies say you're making out because I'm dumping
I mean,
you.
listen, I studied the data here. I didn't really make this up. So the Sunday Times, I guess that's the largest paper in Britain, says it's a passionate, provocative book. It isn't just a self-help book. It's a manifesto for a better society. Boy, that's quite the glowing review, I'd say.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't know, Ed, man. What are your thoughts? What do you think? Do you think we're in our 40s? Do you think we're happier being single, or do you think we'd be happier if we just went ahead and took the plunge?
I'm not sure, but I think Mr. Dolan needs to do some more research because I mean, personally, and I'm only speaking from personal experience,
right.
So this might be my fault. I don't know, but I've never met a woman who's happy in or out of a relationship.
Okay, this is true. I mean, I feel like I have seen that several times. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've dated some great catches, but I feel like at the time I dated them, you know how they say timing is everything?
Yeah.
Well, at the time I dated them, I was a incomplete project. So I think that was through no fault of their own. It was clearly my fault as I look back on it. And now they're all married, and I have to assume they're less happy than they were when they were with me.
Yeah, I mean, I also like to think that someone is less happy without me.
They're miserable
in their life too.
They're pining for me. They're writing. I make a weekly appearance in the diary. I you know, who knows? Well, this is food for thought, though, Ed, because sometimes I do wish I had a wife.
Really?
Because I'm starving right now. It'd be great. Of course, Ed, man, I kid. I love to cook. In fact, most all of my relationships, I have been the main chef in the household.
You have been the girl.
I loved it. I put an apron on. I do the laundry. I fold. I dust. I vacuum.
You wear the high heels. Hey, what's going on?
I mean, you get caught on camera doing that one time, and it follows you for the rest of your life.
It tends to, yeah.
I mean, I can't get it. I've tried to scrub it off the internet, but no luck as of yet. Well, Ed, man, we're moving on. It's random facts time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Random facts, May 31st. Ed, can you believe it is June tomorrow?
It's hard to believe.
It really is.
Fast.
We're coming up on halfway through 2019 already.
I mean, I've already broken all of my resolutions from January, but it's from so long ago, I don't even care anymore.
So being that it's, yeah, I know, right? I gave up after, week, not even month, week 6 or week 7, it was over. Anyways, Ed, man, being that it's June.
One missed Wednesday show.
I know. It kind of reminded me that this month we actually have another special episode in store for the fans.
We do.
We had talked about it, and you got to check the calendar after because you are going to have something happen. I don't want to give it away to the people. Yeah, I'm trying to jog your memory on air here.
Okay.
It's happening in 2 weeks, though.
To some people.
So
2 weeks.
It will be in 2 weeks. We will have an episode that you're going to want to make sure that you tune in for because it's going to be another first for the News Freaks.
I can't wait till I find out what it is.
Off the air, Edman, off the air. So anyways, May 31st, today, actually, we celebrate World No Tobacco Day, Edman.
Okay.
You know, this is one of 8 official global health campaigns observed on this day around the globe since 1987.
No tobacco at all?
As you might know, Ed, tobacco use contributes to more than 7 million deaths annually, and almost 900,000 of those result of us non-smokers being exposed to secondhand smoke. Not fair. Doesn't seem
But they
fair.
made that illegal, right?
Well, they did. In some places, there are some
Most
places you
places.
can still smoke inside, especially here in Florida.
A cigar bar.
I don't think up north you can do that still. I'm not sure. But anyways,
Can't eat and smoke at the same time.
yeah. And why would you want to really?
I would think if I like smoking, I would really want to do
I
that.
think the flavor would be enhanced.
I mean, depends how good or bad the food
Yeah,
is,
this is.
or how good or bad the cigarette is.
This is true. Well, you know what we were supposed to do tonight, Ed, and we might want to get on this. We're supposed to put out ashtrays with fresh flowers in them. That's a common symbol that is used on this.
I
day.
think I'm going to miss that.
Okay, well, we'll try for next year, I guess. I think it's a good
Put it on
idea.
the calendar.
It is met with resistance by, as you can imagine, smokers and growers and the tobacco industry in general.
Right.
Right. Well, I mentioned earlier 8 global public health campaigns that they celebrate annually. I did not know that. Like I said, today was World No Tobacco Day. They also have a World Health Day, a World Blood Donor Day, a World Immunization Week. That's like Shark Week. That Discovery Channel shows.
Yeah.
That. Shows there's a show like all people hate. It's like moms refusing to get their kids immunized. Can you imagine? That's a reality show. Where's TLC when you need them on that one?
Where are they? There's 8 of these?
World Tuberculosis Day, World Malaria Day, World Hepatitis Day, and World AIDS Day.
Man, there's one for each spelling bee winner.
And this is true, Edman. This is true. They should each get to wear one of the causes. And they, you know what? A lot of them happen in April. I don't, for some reason. So we missed a lot of these.
Oh, I mean, you want to get them all out of the way at one time.
This is true. People don't celebrate these international days quite as much as they should.
Yeah, and you don't
probably.
want to compete with Cinco de Mayo and May the 4th be with you, you know.
2 also very, very popular and important days in the month of May.
And those are important days, too.
Anyways, random facts. Moving on to 1859, Edman, going back a little ways. The Big Ben clock tower in London went into operation. That tower is located at the north end of the Palace of Westminster, which serves as the meeting place for the UK's House of Parliament. While many people refer to the tower itself as Big Ben, Ed, I don't know if you know this, the name actually refers
the bell
to the largest of the tower's 5 bells, and it weighs in at a whopping 13.5 tons.
Tons.
That is a big
T-O-N-S.
Ben.
That is a Big
That's
Ben.
a Big Ben. Now, how many people did it take to carry that thing up the 334 stairs?
I think aliens did it.
I don't know how would you get
These
that up
Sonics.
there? How did they get that up there? I just really wonder.
Say
A crane would have to 334.
miracle of modern engineering.
Now, did you know this too, Edman? UK residents can schedule well in advance, but they can schedule a tour, while overseas residents cannot. So we could not go over there and get a tour of the Big Ben Tower.
Oh, that's too bad.
Did you know that?
Now, when was Big Ben founded?
That was in 1859.
Okay.
Do you know who it's named after?
Benjamin Franklin.
No, that is not. But nobody else
Uncle
knows.
Ben.
Nobody else knows either. The San Francisco Tree, all the way there in London, huh? Well, many people believe it's named after Sir Benjamin Hall. He was the civil engineer who oversaw the project. Still, others believe it to be English boxing champ Ben Count, who, in addition to being called the Torquer Giant, what a nickname that is, he also earned the moniker Big Ben. So we don't know. I'm going to go with the boxer.
Yeah, I like that story better.
Me too. I mean, the guy who oversaw the project just like, I have an idea what I want to name this. The ladies call me Big Ben. Can we use that? All right.
Let's
all
put
right,
it on
Ben.
the
Let's
News
relax.
Freaks wiki page.
Yeah, right. We're going to update that ourselves. Well, the bells are currently silent right now, Edman. They're going to remain so for about another year. Renovations are being made. They started in 2017. Expect to be done in the middle of next year. They're going to reglaze and repaint the clock dials.
Yeah.
Probably something you want to do. And they're also adding, well, an elevator here in the States, but a lift over there. They had literally, you'd have to climb the stairs up to that thing.
They're putting some ads on it, maybe.
Yeah.
Got to use that space.
Every step. Maybe we could get a piece of that action, Edman.
Maybe.
Will be the proud owner of stairs number 124, 275. I want it close. No, I want it closer to the bottom,
I'd
where
like to
people
put
don't have blood in their eyes
I'd
yet.
like to put a number on the smaller bell.
Oh, really?
Maybe instead of a clock face, they can make the thing into a giant LED. One of them TVs, right?
It actually shines the clock. Like I had one that used to shine on the ceiling.
It's like a smartwatch.
Right? That would be cool if it just shone in the sky and you didn't even have to look at the clock. You just saw the time
a good
illuminated on the sky.
Yeah.
Well, we'll send it
The
along to
bat
the
signal.
Houses of Parliament and see what they say.
I heard that they did a cartoon, Peter Pan.
Okay.
And in the background of Peter Pan, they have Big Ben, so you can see the location. But the cartoon originally, in the book anyway, took place before that was actually built.
So that was a little error in cinematography.
Yeah. What do they
there.
call that when something's out of time?
I don't know. We can ask Game of Thrones the last season, right?
There's a name for it.
Where they had Starbucks cups and plastic water
Yeah,
bottles
that's right.
lying around.
That's right.
We
Yeah,
didn't even discuss
exactly.
that, but that was another part of that.
Maybe soon.
Spoiler alert. Well, speaking of TV shows, May 31st, 1990. The sitcom Seinfeld premiered on NBC, right? Now, this is technically kind of one of those ones where you can argue against this actually being the premiere, because there actually was a pilot episode called The Seinfeld Chronicles, which they were going to call the actual show, and that had aired almost 1 year earlier in 1989.
Really?
That was when the pilot aired, and the reception with the audience was well, lukewarm at best and like downright awful at worst.
When Seinfeld started, I felt like it was more like a normal sitcom, and it wasn't really. They didn't hit their stride.
Yeah, right. They didn't. Well, here's what happened. The critics loved it.
Yeah.
So there was one executive at NBC. His name was Rick Ludwin. He actually convinced his superiors. I believe he actually gave up like some of his bonus. He gave up producing a Bob Hope special to order a 4-episode series first season run for Seinfeld.
What a risk.
It is the smallest order for any TV show in the history of television. And yada, 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 Seinfeld became master of its domain as one of the most popular shows ever, Edman. Now, the episode that I'm talking about, the one that actually debuted May 31st, 1990, that was technically the second episode, I guess, but really the first of this first season, right? It's called The Stakeout. This was the one where Jerry's father, Mort, suggests he stake out a woman's workplace to meet her accidentally after unsuccessfully flirting with her at a birthday party he went to with Elaine. So that was actually the first episode. We talked about the finale last episode.
Yes, we did.
Freaks, right? 9 years. 180 episodes. It won 10 Emmy Awards, 3 Golden Globes, and in 2013, Writers Guild of America voted it the #2 best written TV series of all time, behind another show that made the disappointing finale list, The Sopranos.
The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Okay.
So both, isn't that funny? The top 2 that they had on that list were 2 that took a lot of flack, I guess, because people knew how good the shows were, and they just expected the finale to blow them away.
All right, so magical circumstances occur. You can either now have the wit and wisdom of Bob Hope or Jerry Seinfeld. That's who your stand-up is modeled after. Who do you choose?
Wow, I've taken so much from both. Did I tell you I read
Milton Berle.
You're gonna
That is it.
You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh. I recently, and I'll say probably sometime this year, earlier in this year, I read Bob Hope's biography.
Really?
I did.
Yeah.
I was always curious about the man and his life and everything. And I guess I was glad to do it. But if I had to choose one, I'm gonna go with the guy that's more in my era.
Yeah.
And so I guess I would have to take Seinfeld.
I take Hope.
But Bob Hope,
I
I
funny.
his delivery was great. To do what he did at the USO tours, the years and years of that. He almost lost his life like several times going on those things, but refused to give him up. He did a lot for a lot of troops. Probably saved a lot of their lives. Just him giving them moments of happiness.
Yeah, and he's funny.
And he was funny. He really was. And a big golfer as well. Loved his golf.
Yeah.
He loved his golf. Well, we're going one last random fact to close out the show here, Edman. This one comes from 1975.
That's a long time ago.
This was the only high school dance ever held at the White House.
Okay.
It only happened once, 1975. It was the senior prom of the Holton Arms School in Bethesda, Maryland. And this was where Gerald Ford's daughter, Susan, was a senior.
Oh.
So at the suggestion of her classmates, Susan petitioned her father and then White House Chief Usher Rex Scouten if they could hold the prom there, and the request was eventually granted, but it came with several conditions, which I think you and the listeners are going to enjoy.
First condition, no nepotism.
Well, they wouldn't have held it there, right? Number 1, no expenses could be covered by the U.S. government. And those expenses ended up totaling around $1,300.
That makes sense.
It
I'm
does
glad
make
they
sense,
did
right?
that. Yeah.
And that the public knew, he's paying for his daughter's senior prom and he can't pay for
Right.
my whatever. So $1,300 was what it ended up with. That would be about $6,000 today.
Why should I
with
have to
inflation.
pay for the president's senior prom?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Daughter's senior prom.
why should we have to pay for hundreds of golf trips every week?
Why do I need to pay for Bob Hope's comedy tour?
Man, we're going to need a special edition soon. The number 2 stipulation here, all attendees had to provide their names, date of birth, and social security numbers to the U.S. Secret Service a minimum of 30 days before the event. So how many kids missed out on their senior prom because they're like, I ain't doing that
Right.
shit. No, I'm not. I want no part of that.
I would have gone.
I would have been in. I was a choir boy back in high school.
yeah.
Then it fell off the rails as I got older. And number 3, this was my favorite.
I mean, I just wouldn't have done the work.
Oh, you just
No, I'm clean.
Got to find your
I
documentation.
just didn't feel like looking in the drawers. Yeah.
Number 3, this was my favorite of all the stipulations here, Edman. Members of the band selected to perform at the prom could not have any outstanding drug charges against them.
I knocked out all the hit bands.
Which was great. Well, Susan actually tried booking the Beach Boys for this.
Oh, jeez.
But they were unavailable.
Okay.
So they ended up going with 2 bands that I've never heard of. Maybe you have. Sandcastle and the Outer Space Band.
Oh, wow. Well, at least they have nice names.
There's no way members of the Outer Space Band did not have any outstanding drug charges. That seems impossible to me, doesn't it?
It does seem that way.
I'm gonna have to look those characters up because I don't think that seems right. Well,
They're
anyway,
going to have a litany of charges, man.
President Ford and
Litany, L-I-T.
A-N-Y, yeah. President Ford and First Lady Betty, they were out of town. So it's kind of like your parents are away, you're going to throw a shindig
Yeah,
at the house.
yeah.
This is great. And Susan had broken up with her boyfriend right before the prom.
Good move.
So some other guy like scooped in there and took her.
Secret Service member.
And she said she would have been happier if she just went solo. No,
Well-
she did not say that. I was
Yeah, I was
talking
gonna
about
say
Paul
that too
Dolan.
as
Yeah.
well.
Anyway, 74 seniors and their dates ended up going to this prom, and it was met with amazing reviews. They said it was absolutely fantastic. It was the best thing they ever went to.
What a great story. Too bad I didn't get any iPhone footage of that.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen the band. They're in there. They actually had after. You know how you do that after hours thing at the. Did you ever go to? You went to your prom? Edmund,
No,
or
I sure didn't.
Neither one. None of them. I didn't go to my junior prom. I did go to my senior prom, and they have this after party thing that usually a place hosts. Well, the White House actually hosted one, like the executive room. They watched on the big screen. They watched movies and had popcorn, and probably didn't try to have sex at all. With all the cameras around, I would have been terrified. I was terrified regardless.
I didn't get broken up by the
Yeah, that would have been
Guards.
That would have been a real C block.
C block. C
C.
dash B-L-O-C.
Trying to keep it clean for the younger listeners out there.
Yeah.
Well, Ed, man, we danced our way through another episode.
We sure
didn't
did.
And that was a fun one.
I liked it.
I enjoyed it. We hope the listeners at home enjoyed it as well. Let us know. Give us any feedback you have, any questions, comments, any stories you might want to see us cover on future episodes. Hit us up at our text line, 904-300-2475. Also on our website, thenewsfreaks.com. You can send us mail at The News Freaks.
That's right.
And also Facebook, The News Freaks, and Twitter at News Freaks Pod. Edman, it's another weekend on the horizon. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to crack open a few cold ones and get into my my Hugh Hefner gear, if you will.
I'm just going to stay out of the sun.
All right, Edman. Again, we want to thank everyone for making this show possible, and that would be myself, Edman, and our interview today. That was sweet. Emily, thank you so much for coming on, part of Unknown Brewery Company and that story. Anyways, guys, hope everyone has a great weekend. Be safe out there. I'm Terry.
I'm Ed Man.
We're the News Freaks.
See ya.